Are there key points that you say would be ones that you really think or hope individuals will take away and act on?
Sure. The first key point I would say is identify those skills that can make you successful. What are those skills, behaviors, competencies that are important to you and your organization, and then work to get better on them. So that would be the baseline. Secondly, I would say get some feedback. Try to get some feedback, some data on what you do well, what you need to work on from other people, what's their view, and then make a commitment to changing, to growing, to developing. Sometimes having a coach helps, but the most important thing is committing and changing and trying new behaviors.
What can really make the difference where somebody says, okay, maybe at the workplace I've gotten a little bit of feedback from folks, but how do I do something next to make sure that it sticks?
The point I made in the presentation is that doing something for 21 days creates a new habit, so that's the one thing I would say, stick with it for 21 days, and then have an accountability partner that will hold you accountable for the next 21 days and the next 21 days. Peer coaching, having somebody who you can use as a sounding board to say, how did I do in that presentation? How did I do in that meeting? And then just get a little bit better. I'm all about how do people get a little bit better, and then over time, suddenly you're a lot better.
One of the things that we talked about this morning, Richard, before you spoke, and then you went into some detail on it, is what it was called the AIWATT model. Could you talk about that just very briefly?
Sure. Directly out of Marshall Goldsmith's book, Triggers, AIWATT stands for Am I Willing at This Time? And to make a personal change, you have to be willing at this time to make that change. And it's really important. The times when I have failed to change in my life, when I reflected on it, I wasn't really willing to do the things it took to do to make the change. And putting the energy, the focus, the effort, you have to be willing at this time to take the first step.
What really motivates or locks in the willing?
That's a great question, and the slide that I had in the presentation, I think that would resonate the most in answering is why should you change? You should change if you're not getting the results you want. If you're getting the results you want, there's no real reason to change. But if you've gotten feedback from your boss, other people are passing you by, getting promoted over you, or you've just drifted away from the person you want to be, that's the critical point. Perhaps it's a little bit of Freudian psychology. You want to move toward pleasure and avoid pain. But if you have a pain that you're not the person you want to be, other people are passing you by, that's the time to say to yourself, I should change. Or if you want to get something better that you enjoy more, that's the time to change.